everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Ground Commission African Commission Culture meeting. We're about to get started, but if you could do a couple of housekeeping things for us. If you have cell phones, can you please set those to mute? We thank you so much. You can enjoy the technology we have. Since we're dialing, and we're going to get started in the next couple of meetings. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We're going to start today's meeting with singing Lift Every Voice. And I'm going to need some help. Is that all right? Yeah. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Beautiful!
If we can, let's put our hands together again for Commissioner Kennedy Wilson. Thank you so much. And at this time, we're going to begin our call to order for today's meeting. The Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture meeting scheduled for today, Monday, August the 4th, 2025, here at the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum, 84 Franklin Street, Annapolis, Maryland. And our call to order is as follows. Chair Khalid Asset Ahmed. Vice Chair Jalen Moon.
Present.
Commissioner Michelle Adams. Thank you. Commissioner Yura Jean Bailey.
Present.
Commissioner Lori Radford. Commissioner Dina Dale.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Mark Blaze. Commissioner Walter Gill. Commissioner Gina Marie Lewis.
Present. I think I answered wrong the first time.
Thank you so much from our virtual. Thank you. Commissioner Brian Morrison.
Present.
Commissioner Robert Patterson. Commissioner.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Ada Pinkston.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Bridget Jones Smith.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Hakeem Tajani.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Chrissy Michelle Fortin. Commissioner Alethea Smith Withers.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Kennedy Wilson.
Present.
Commissioner Wesley Wood. Thank you, sir. To our chair, vice chair, commissioners, and public at large, The notice for today's meeting was posted on our commission website, as well as the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum website, as well as in our local and national syndicated newspapers. Excuse me. And now I'm turning the meeting over to our wonderful, powerful hands of our new chair, the wonderful Harriet Ahmed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. So, MCAAHC is present. Okay, so we can proceed. The next item is approval of the minutes from our June 2nd meeting. Are there any corrections or amendments that anyone has to offer? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as distributed. Okay, Vice Chair Money has made the motion. Can anyone second the motion? Okay, Commissioner Kennedy has seconded the motion. Very good. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad you all are here. I do want to thank Kennedy Wilson for leading us in song. This is a practice we will now hold sacred at our future public meetings. It's time to bring that good old song back. And for those of you who are not familiar with that song, it has had a couple of names. Lift Every Voice and Sing, that was known as the Negro National Anthem, penned by James Walker Johnson and his brother Rosamond Johnson over 100 years ago, when it was the anthem of the NAACP for a long time. So before we move on to the first item on our agenda, which is our magnificent featured speaker, I did want to just offer a few comments of my own. This is my first public meeting as chair of this commission, having been elected this past June. And so I'm delivering my first chair's report, and I just want to thank again my fellow commissioners for the trust that you have put in me, and I take this responsibility very, very seriously. So thank you again. I also am especially thankful to Vice Chair Jalen Money, whose first public meeting this is also as Vice Chair. Thank you already for your steady partnership and wise counsel. That will just make this transition much smoother. And I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our newest commissioners. Yes, here for the first time. Stepping into public service, I know is no small decision. The work is great, and the willingness to give of your time and your talent really does mean the world to the people of Maryland. You joined a community of stewards, scholars, storytellers, and advocates, and I can't wait to see how your perspectives add to the work that we've been doing for these many years. I've been thinking a lot lately about why our commission matters so much right now. We live in a moment when the stories and the truths we preserve shape how future generations understand who we are. When we uplift a single voice from history, we open a doorway for someone today to see themselves as part of that story and as empowered to make change. Now that belief underpins our priorities for the coming year. And first, we must stand as unyielding champions of the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum strategic plan, which you'll hear about a lot today. Because without clear, focused implementation of this plan, even the best crafted plan remains just words on a page. Second, we will extend our imprint across Maryland through deeper partnerships in more regions of the state. Third, we will focus on reinforcing our safety net, which is to say, protecting the state appropriations that are the financial bedrock of this commission's work, and will advocate for increased state allocation, even in these difficult financial times for our state. We know that our programs deliver civic and cultural value, and they deserve sustained investment. This is the case that we will make. And finally, we'll strengthen our fundraising effort because public dollars alone cannot carry this work forever. These goals are ambitious indeed, but they're practical imperatives born of today's necessity. If we don't make the BDTM's vision real, we lose momentum. If we fail to bring our presence out into every corner of Maryland, we leave entire communities untouched and underrepresented. If we settle for flat or shrinking state support, our reach will wither. And if we neglect private philanthropy, our capacity for innovation will stall. So my ask to all of you commissioners is simple. Let's double down together. Let's move deliberately to build a commission that serves as a model of stewardship to other agencies in our state and to other states in this country. And we want to be a body that reminds every Marylander, your history matters, your future matters, and this commission will be here to hold both. Thank you for your attention. An announcement, there is a black Acura in the the law firm lot across the street that is about to be towed. Please, if it belongs to you, attend to that swiftly. All right, so we will move on now to our featured speaker, who today is Commissioner Walter Gill. It is always such a joy to work with and even carpool, as we often do, Dr. Gill and I. He brings the wisdom of having authored 3 scholarly books on urban education. He brings decades of experience teaching and mentoring young people, and his insights have been honed in various faculty positions at 7 colleges and universities. Commissioner Gill, the podium is yours.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a little unusual. If you'll direct your vision to the screen in the back of the room. You'll forgive me for speaking to the back of your heads, but good morning. I have been asked to make some remarks about the articles that appeared in the first 3 issues of the Pendulum, the resurrected and online newsletter of the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture. And I titled this Yesterday's Breath Today, or How Breath Meets Boots on the Ground. I can't change there we go.
I got it.
The first 2 issues had a lead article in 2 parts about African Americans that worked at Bethlehem Steel at Sparrows Point. The point. Thousands of African Americans worked at Bethlehem Steel, and it seemed like everyone had a family member, a friend, or a neighbor who worked there at one time or another. Does anyone here have a family member that worked at Bethlehem Steel, a neighbor, a friend? We still have a few hands. Good, good. Bethlehem Steel purchased a mill in 1916, and at one time it was the largest steel mill in the world. The union came to the plant in 1941 as a result of the black vote. African American men faced racism and discrimination, had the dirtiest jobs and low pay, but they overcame. There were a lot of firsts in the 40s. First repairman in 1942, first skilled worker, which was a crane operator in 1944, first shop steward in 1947. Progress was made work-wise as a result of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. First African-American president of the union was in 1968. These men and later women made more money than any other group of African-Americans, and they were working, they were able to provide for their families. Now, I came along at a time during segregation And I heard a lot about being a credit to your race. And it's usually associated with teachers, a scientist, someone who had accomplished something in the profession, sometimes an athlete or an entertainer. But considering the circumstances at which these people worked in toil and were able to provide for their families, they surely were a credit to their race. The United States colored troops that were organized and based in Maryland were the 4th, 7th, 9th, 19th, 30th, and 39th regiments. The regiments consisted of 1,000 men. John H. Murphy, who was later found the Afro-American newspapers during the 30th Regiment when he was 20 years of age. The regiments were led by white officers. They trained at a camp in Maryland, Benedict, Maryland. Another camp where they trained was in Baltimore, around the area of North Avenue and Madison Avenue, not too far from Georgia Park. The 7th and 9th regiments were on duty at Appomattox at the end of the Civil War. Christian A. Fleetwood was one of 5 Civil War Medal of Honor awardees from Maryland. There were 25 African-American Medal of Honor awardees during the Civil War, and Maryland had the most, being 5. There's a memorial statue that honors the 700 USCT troops from St. Mary's County in Lexington Park. There are 3 other monuments around the state also. There are more than 1,100 colored troops laid to rest at Loudon Park National Cemetery in Baltimore. Every Memorial Day, the Commission assists in ceremonies at Loudon and will do so at any other cemetery where colored troops are buried upon request. Queenstown is the African-American section of Southern in Anne Arundel County. It is not to be confused with the Queenstown that is in Queen Anne's County, which is on the eastern shore. This Queenstown faces challenges of rezoning, sprawl, new resident investment, industrial growth, and the ever-expanding BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport. First to the Sparrows Point article, that was in 2 parts, and the United States Colored Troops, that was a feature article. This was a minor article about Queenstown. Harriet Wilson, on the right, was one of the wealthiest and most influential men, African-Americans, white or black, African-American or white, in Maryland. He made his money in insurance, banking, and building associations and helped build 10 churches and several other buildings. By 1917, he had purchased enough land, which he named Wilson Park. His success is in his philosophy: I have no special rule for success, save hard work and scrupulous honesty. His house has been designated as a historic landmark, which is on Credit Avenue. Another article appeared in one of the issues about historical markers in Talbot County. Of Maryland's 800 historical markers, 54 have an African-American theme, which will undergo rewording for more appropriate language. The most recent designated Frederick Douglass historical marker was in February of this year. Here's a picture of Vice Chair Mooney at that designation. The first Frederick Douglass statue was done in 1954, the second one in 1981. Also, Nathaniel Hopkins and the Emancipation Day was cited in an article also. Hopkins was a Civil War veteran. He started Emancipation Day in 1864, and it has been held annually in Trapp since then. We had a couple of other articles that were written. One about the Harvey Gray School, which was built in 1910 and is now a museum, that was written by Patricia Cole, who was the president of the museum. Another article was written by Blanche Calloway, who was the first black woman to lead a swing orchestra. That was written by Chair Amin. I believe the people who attend the public meetings or the life stream of this commission in principle and practice. They are history buffs. There were many who came before them, coming to public meetings. They came before me and the other commissioners. They have yesterday's breath, that is history, and have been talking about and informing others of Maryland's African-American history. Their boots are already on the ground. Now, they may learn something from one of my articles or one of the articles that's in the Pendulum, but it's more important to hear their breath, their knowledge about their history, because they are a valuable resource. History was made in their neighborhoods. I have asked of their knowledge in all of the articles that I have written, and I will continue to do so. I'm officially listed as Commissioner Walter Gill in parentheses Baltimore City, but I don't represent Baltimore City. I feel I represent the residents of Baltimore, all the residents. And as a committee member, I feel I represent all the residents of Maryland. So how can you represent everyone? Well, I think people will know where they belong. And as far as people who attend the public meetings, you're key. You'll be here, you were here before I came, and you'll be here after I leave. After all, I have a 4-year appointment. You might say I have term limits. The Pendulum has swung. It's been resurrected, and I hope we can expand our audience with print editions and a mailing list for the here and now. And at the top of that list would be the public libraries and people who attend public meetings. The history buffs. Printed copies will not only keep people connected to the commission, but the newsletter can also be used for community engagement. For example, a few could be with certain social studies and history teachers. A few could be with community centers and recreational centers. A few could be in certain barbershops and beauty salons. A few could be with certain leaders in the community. And hopefully, information will filter down, history will filter down, and be read by middle and high school students, our youth. In closing, I'd like to say that once upon a time I had a newspaper writer, the Baltimore Afro-American, the Baltimore Sun, and the Newsmaker in my Negro neighborhood of Hobbs Heights, and also at Morgan State College. Commissioner Brian Morrison, Executive Director Chanel Johnson, and I had some prototypes printed of the first 2 issues of the Pendulum. Now I'm a newspaper man again, and I like to think that I have a high calling in promoting Maryland's African-American history and culture. And I would like nothing better than to use my breath to talk about Maryland's African-American history and distribute a few copies of the Pendulum with a smile. What could be that? Talking about Maryland's African-American history, delivering a few copies of the Pendulum with a smile. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Gill. He really has been, along with Commissioner Morrison, a singular and strong ambassador for the revival of the Pendulum. We couldn't be happier. We look forward to seeing its growth. I hope you were swayed about the tremendous value of this magazine that we will continue to produce. Before we move on to the next agenda item, I have made a protocol. Again, this is my first time chairing a public meeting. We entertained a motion to approve the June 2nd meeting minutes, but we did not vote on their approval. So we will do that now, recognizing that it was properly moved and seconded. We will now take a vote on the approval of the June 2 minutes. Everyone who votes in favor of approval, please say aye. 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 Thank you. In the virtual area, and any nays? All right, no nays. So the minutes have been properly approved. All right, our next item is Chair's report. So one of our core governance functions, that is the chair, the vice chair, and executive director, Johnson, is advising the governor's appointments office on commission vacancies. We are legislated as a 21-member body and currently have 18 confirmed commissioners. Vice Chair Loney and I, along with the executive director, have just submitted recommendations for new members from Wacomico, Howard, Anne Arundel, and Prince George's counties. While the appointments office undertakes its own vetting, you should know, commissioners, that we made a very specific case rooted in our goals and values about the commission's ideal composition. Allow me to read a brief excerpt from our memorandum to the Secretary. In fulfillment of our gubernatorially mandated charge, we are seeking a diverse and well-rounded cohort of commissioners who bring not only subject matter expertise, but also strong community connection and regional breadth across the state. We are focused on achieving a thoughtful balance between grassroots knowledge and professional credentialing, representation across age cohorts, and both hard skills such as financial oversight, historic preservation, and legislative affairs, and soft skills such as facilitation, relationship building, and community organizing. More importantly, we believe that the Commission should reflect Maryland's geographic diversity. At present, the Commission is disproportionately concentrated in Baltimore City and Baltimore County, which currently accounts for 7 out of 18 seated commissioners. To support statewide engagement and impact, we respectfully recommend that no additional appointments from these jurisdictions be made during this cycle. Next, I want to speak to the work around the Maryland Reparations Commission. Earlier this summer, 2 bills passed, some of you are aware, both chambers of the state legislature, but ultimately were not signed into law. The proposals would have created a commission charged with studying and ultimately recommending appropriate benefits for individuals whose ancestors endured slavery or suffered under inequitable government policies, with a preliminary report due January 1st, 2027, and a final report by November 1st, 2027. And commissioners, direct economic advocacy falls outside of our statutory mandate, but the imperative to understand the full arc of African American history and the legacies of harm and resilience that shape our present resonates deeply with our mission. A rigorous study of reparations is at its core an exercise in historical inquiry, tracing policies, documenting lived experiences, and laying bare the structural forces that have shaped Maryland's Black communities. That kind of research and the public education that flows from it squarely fits within our agency's charge to illuminate and interpret our shared past. So Vice Chair Loney and I have reached out to Delegate Janelle Wilkins, one of the bill's co-sponsors, with 3 clear goals. First, to learn about the Legislative Black Caucus's current plans. Second, to learn who their current civil society partners are. And thirdly, to inform them of our Commission's capacity for public education and historical research. Now, we requested these conversations so that this full Commission can make its own informed decision about if and how we choose to support further inquiry into reparations. And let me be perfectly clear. The Commission is a state agency serving at the pleasure of the governor and aligned with the Legislative Black Caucus. We will not contravene the executive in any way. Instead, we are simply exploring whether our mandate to conduct and disseminate historical research on African American experience can enrich this overdue and vital conversation. Turning now to legislative successes, I'm pleased to report our House Bill 1010 was signed into law at the close of last fiscal year. Many of you know. This statute empowers the agency to receive grants and donations for the African American Heritage Preservation Program that may be used this time beyond capital improvements to cover non-capital needs, such as community outreach and educational programming. We're very, very excited. This flexibility will allow us to support programming and preservation in more dynamic and community-centered ways, we believe. And finally, looking ahead, we will convene a special closed meeting of the Commission on Saturday, September 6th for planning purposes for this Commission in compliance with the Maryland Open Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting formally, including its purpose, date, time, and location, will be published on our website in advance. And I think that's all I have to say about the Open Meetings Act with that regard. So that concludes my chair's report. We do have some time for questions if there are any on the floor. Yes, Commissioner.
Testing. On the appointments memo, were any names recommended?
Yes. I don't have them off the top of my head, unfortunately. We can share those.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We will move on to our illustrious director's report.
Button at the bottom.
How you doing, everyone? Everyone doing good? Good morning, good morning. Let's clap it up. All right, so I am honored today. Today's a very special day. Hey, Selena. I'm so honored to present our strategic plan for 2025 to 2030, preserving stories and inspiring futures. Commissioner and friends, there is a QR code on our one-pager where you can access a detailed description of our key strategies. Right here, shout out to Jan Lee and her marketing team. Commissioners, community, staff, before we begin, I want to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who made this plan possible, to the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture that operates our museum, the Governor's Office of Westmore, shout out to Appointments Administrator Crystal Henry from the Appointments Office for being here today. Thank you, ma'am. And statewide partners, our dedicated museum and agency staff. If you could please stand. And we recognize. Thank you. The Banneker-Douglass Museum Foundation, we have the board vice chair with us today, Ms. Beryl Hall. If you could please stand there. Vice chair, we did it. Okay. We got here. Our generous donors, passionate volunteers, talented interns. If you are a volunteer, intern, our We Rise donor committee is here. If you can please stand and be recognized as well. Our institutional partners, we got Maryland Humanities in the house, raise your hand. Yes. And our broader community, thank you. This plan exists because of your voices, your vision, and your unwavering commitment to preserving Maryland's African American and African diasporic heritage. Also, thank you to our amazing consultant, Giselle Paula of Scrap Strategies, for your guidance and support through this dynamic process. Man, you better stand up and recognize. Thank you. All right, let's start our clicker. I'm official. Let's see. All right, next slide. All right, so our mission and work. Now, I mentioned that the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture operates this museum, but as Maryland's official museum on African American heritage, we serve a vital mission to document, interpret, and promote African American history and culture through exhibitions, programs, and projects. We don't just preserve the past, we illuminate pathways to the future, improving understanding and appreciation of African American and African diasporic history for all Marylanders. Next slide, please. So, commissioners, if you can scroll up just a little bit. Thank you, Taja. Can you scroll up? Perfect. All right. Commissioners, this strategic plan isn't separate from our existing work. Oh, no. It's the foundation that will strengthen everything that we already do. As you can see, we support an ecosystem of heritage preservation. We operate this museum, co-manage heritage preservation grants, represent the governor's office, and provide research and support to heritage projects throughout the state. Here's the exciting opportunity before us. As the majority of our budget is allocated to operating the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum, our key resource, this strategic plan becomes the blueprint for amplifying our agency's impact across Maryland. And today's dynamic is an interesting word, political and economic landscape, we have the chance to demonstrate how strategic investment in our museum creates exponential returns for our entire mission. When the museum thrives, our entire commission thrives. When the museum excels, our capacity to serve communities statewide expands dramatically. This plan positions our commission as the undisputed leader in Maryland's heritage preservation landscape, with the museum as our powerful engine that drives statewide impact. Every visitor we inspire becomes an advocate for our commission's broader work. Every educational partnership we build expands our commission's reach across Maryland. Every dollar we raise strengthens our entire commission's ecosystem of heritage preservation throughout the state. Next slide. All right, feasibility study, our strategic approach. We did not create this plan in isolation. Working with Scrap Strategies, led by Giselle Paula, we worked together as an agency to define our scope, working with our staff and commission, conducting a comprehensive feasibility study that included over 18 stakeholder discussions, 21 staff and commission surveys, 3 staff sessions, and 80 stakeholder surveys. As a result, we developed a 5-year roadmap. We listened to you, our community, and this plan reflects what we heard. The research revealed something powerful. Once people discover us, they become deeply connected to our mission. Hear from some community voices and what they have to say.
Something about the intimacy of the Banneker-Tubman that felt like, I don't know, like I can plant myself here, I can root myself here and build here, if that makes sense.
It's definitely one of the smaller institutions that I've visited. I thought that for such a small institution, there was quite a full dose of history there. There was not an inch that I thought was spared.
Beautiful building.
There's so many. You all are reading. Leadership matters. Partnerships matter. Collaboration matters. And I've seen a lot of that happening.
Oh my God, it was just so beautiful.
Or a wonderful space.
And so it's been a wonderful opportunity to see that new energy, new blood. And so a lot of what goes on is just me seeing the progression.
It's so comfortable. Like the people that volunteer or work there, everybody's really nice and kind, and so it turns into more of an experience than just I'm just going here to learn something new or whatever. It turns the whole concept.
I was just so breathtaken by the space itself and the origins that have been maintained there.
When I tell you, they fell in love with the place and the architecture of the building because of what it did, church and everything. So really good.
Thank you. Through this process, we learned we have work to do. As our audience is deeply connected with our mission and work, many Marylanders simply don't know we exist. This plan addresses that challenge head on. By 2030, the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum will further solidify its position as Maryland's premier institution dedicated to preserving, elevating, and sharing African American and African diasporic histories, art, and culture. Rooted in Maryland's rich heritage, we serve as both an anchor and a beacon connecting communities to their past while illuminating pathways to their future. And I just want to say, I'm going off script, I'm sorry. It kind of just hit me just now that this space, we are carrying the baton forward for the folks that built this museum. This museum was built in 1874 by a congregation of African Americans who built a cultural center in our state's capital only 10 years after emancipation. The actual property was owned by Charity Folk, who was enslaved in Annapolis, and she was manumitted and would become a property owner. And her family would sell this property that would build a church that would later build our museum. So we are on this connection, right, of Black empowerment, of love, of community, and education. So it kind of just hit me, so I just had to share it with you all. So thank you for entertaining that. So back to business. All right, next slide. Oh no, leave it here. Go back, I'm sorry. Our vision. All right. Next slide, sorry. Yes, next slide. Our 7 strategic priorities. Our path forward focuses on 7 key areas. Number 1, financial growth, building sustainable funding that weathers any political climate. Number 2, educational innovation, partnering with schools using a community school approach. Number 3, dynamic historical storytelling, amplifying narratives through artist collaborations. Number 4, collections access, making our archives accessible to all. Number 5, increased visibility, becoming Maryland's recognized cultural destination. Next, number 6, enhanced spaces, creating accessible and inspiring facility upgrades. And lastly, leadership development, investing in our exceptional team's development. Next slide. So financial growth, I'm just going to spend a second on each slide. Again, the more detailed version is your QR code. 100%, let me repeat, 100% of our supporters we interviewed expressed concern about our financial sustainability. But here's the good news. They want help. They just need to know how. Our goal is to achieve financial growth and sustainability through diversified revenue streams while building transparent relationships with our supporters, our governing body, and community. Key strategies include creating clear pathways for support through diversified funding, legislative planning, and expanded development capabilities. We're not just asking and applying for funding, y'all. We're building lasting partnerships. Next slide. Educational innovation. 73% of educators that we heard from want to partner with us, but 60% lack materials presenting diverse perspective, namely on Black history. One educator told us, teachers are afraid to teach certain histories. We're helping to change that. Through our community school approach, which means integrating school, community, and family to youth development, we aim to become a premier educational partner for Maryland teachers and students, providing resources that make these important stories accessible and engaging. Our next priority, dynamic historical storytelling. Oh, next slide, thank you. Dynamic historical storytelling. Our community loves our different way of sharing history that connects past to present. We're doubling down on this strength by establishing ourselves as the premier platform for African American and African diasporic artists. Through annual commissions, residencies, and strategic partnerships, we'll ensure our stories come alive through contemporary voices. Next slide. Collections access. 56% of visitors say we offer historical knowledge they can't find anywhere else. They discover gems and hidden stories in our collection. Now imagine if all Marylanders could access these treasures. We're reactivating our library as a premier research center and improving our online repositories that bring our collections to communities across the state. Some key strategies includes growing our acquisitions program, reactivating our museum library, and increasing visibility of our museum collections through online use. Next slide. Increased visibility. Here's our biggest challenge. Despite decades of operations, many Maryland residents don't know we exist. One visitor said, you can almost walk past it and not know that it's there. But once people find us, they become passionate advocates. This plan transforms us as Maryland's best kept secret to a recognized cultural destination through comprehensive awareness campaigns and improved accessibility. Some key strategies include developing a comprehensive awareness campaign around local, regional, national, international, traditional, and digital outlets, leveraging our partner organizations for cross-promotional visibility, and relaunching a redesigned website with improved user and searchability and discoverability use. Next slide. Enhanced physical spaces. 44% of our stakeholders mentioned our striking physical space as a key differentiator. Visitors call it wonderful, beautiful, and safe. We're enhancing these beloved features through ADA compliance upgrades, our library renovation, and our new permanent exhibition, featuring more Black women's history and dedicated community gathering spaces, more African diasporic stories, and so much more, all while maintaining the intimate, sacred atmosphere we all cherish. Next slide. Leadership development. Our staff consistently emerges as our top differentiator. Oh yes, supporters praise their expertise and personalized approach. To maintain this excellence, we're implementing comprehensive professional development, creating advancement opportunities, and building leadership succession planning. We're not just investing in our team, we are investing in our future. Next slide. So by 2030, I'll be 21 at that time. We will reach 20,000 in-person visitors annually, serve 3,500 students and educators annually, and increase our funding by over 20% year over year to support a $500,000 annual budget in private donations and grants, in addition to our state budget. But our real success will be measured in stories preserved, students inspired, teachers supported, and communities strengthened. Last slide. I'm so excited, I'm like, learn words. This strategic plan represents more than institutional development. It embodies our promise to be worthy stewards of Maryland's African American and African diasporic heritage. Our success will be measured not just in numbers served or dollars raised, but in the stories, the communities, each other, our connections that are made within this 5-year plan and beyond. Implementation starts August 4th, right now. It starts today, and we need your partnership to make this vision a reality. Thank you.
I'm excited. That's a great kickoff. We entertain a few questions from commissioners only at this time in response to the presentation.
Did I do good, Giselle?
I'm sorry?
I said, did I do good?
You did great. I didn't do nothing.
Okay.
The team did all of that, the community did all of that, and all that I did was help to reflect what the community shared to help the team figure out their plan. I did nothing. If you spoke with me during one of these conversations, y'all were like, I really have this idea. I said, I have no say in what actually happens. I'm just here to report and to be a conduit for, what everyone involved, that all the stakeholders feel is best way forward.
Thank you, Giselle. Sorry, Chad.
No, that's perfect. You have a comment, Commissioner Morrison?
Yes, thank you. First of all, this is phenomenal work. It really is. This is a very dynamic plan. It covers everything. It's very well done. I really do want to take my hat off to the leader of the strategic plan, our consultant. She really did a very good job. Very good job. The connecting and building communities, I think that's very essential for the work of the museum. If we're really going to grow to get to that 20,000 and to reach all those educators, it's really about connecting the communities. We resonate with what Commissioner Gill said in his comments. My question is, how can we, the commission, because this is a lot. This is a whole lot. This is a lot to do. So my question is, how can we as a commission assist in operationalizing these plans in terms of the goals and priorities? It's a lot. It all can't get done all at once. So what are the priorities that you're looking for, and how can we as the commission assist in the operationalization of the plan?
That's a beautiful question. So we have a commission retreat where we will be taking a deep dive in how the committees can support the key 7 priorities of the plan. In addition, there will be a published version of the more robust, detailed overview of the plan, and the staff will work very, very hard to break down the annual activities for this plan. So we're not going to answer that question today, but I'm excited that we've planned a robust retreat and how we will rally around these priorities. But we have 5 years, but we got to start now in planning and collaborating on these efforts. So thank you for your question. Yeah. And Brian Morrison is our resident educator. He's an incredible educator, teacher ambassador, so thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, and I'll beg that you stay, please, at the podium. So the next item is the Finance Committee report, which Executive Director Johnson will also deliver at our upcoming retreat, the closed meeting of September 6th. We will also be assigning a new Finance Committee chairperson. We've lost our chairperson in June when we had a handover of commission tenders. So to all of our new commissioners and our seasoned commissioners, please do give some thought to where your strengths lie. We need some expertise and talent on all of this work of advocacy for our strengthened financial position as well as fundraising. All right, I'll turn the floor back to you. Thank you.
So for the Finance and Administrative report, we have $1.7 million in the FY25 appropriation. The total budget, FY26 appropriation. The total budget allocation for fiscal year FY26. The current appropriation balance is roughly 1.5, close to $1.6 million. We haven't drawn down that much, so we have about 93% remaining in the FY26 budget. The capital budget, we did receive a grant in FY24, a capital bond bill for $3 million. That is currently being drawn down to support the renovations of the museum. Approximately $100,000 has been encumbered to date for museum wood flooring replacement and museum AC rentals. The June 9th and we had a meeting on June 9th and July 24th where we met with Ewing Cole, a general contractor. The subcontractors include an engineer team, a historic preservation specialist, lighting design specialist, where we confirmed the scope for the $3 million project and schedule for the capital improvement plan. Just as a reminder, we are replacing our HVAC systems. HVACs are very expensive. Lord, it's not like a house. It's a lot. But we're also doing some preservation repairs to the facade of our building and some lighting design throughout the facility. So some facilities upgrades. So we got the $3 million for the HVAC replacement. Well, lo and behold, shortly after we signed on with our general contractor, our HVAC system malfunctioned on June 6th. So HVAC has caused that, because of that malfunctioning, the system has caused water penetration and leaking in the offices on the second floor. Water infiltration caused damage to the office ceiling, carpet, and damage to our kitchen flooring tiles. DGS, Department of General Services, has identified and assigned a contractor to address repair damages. A building insurance claim was filed with the Maryland State Treasury Insurance Division to address the cost for these repairs. So we will be making those repairs as well, in addition to our capital improvement plan.
Thank you so much. Once again, we have a little bit of time for questions or comments on the finance report.
And I want to say apologies, I'm going to make that edit. It says FY25 in the financial overview. It's supposed to say FY26. That's in regards to our appropriation.
Thank you. All right. Then we will move forward with the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum Committee report. Led by Chair Commissioner Ada Kingston.
Okay, all right. Well, first of all, I want to say that thank you so much for that report, Chair or Director Johnson. The work that this museum does is really important for the state of Maryland, for the city of Annapolis, and also for the country. And to say that, I'm saying that to say, as a commission, each and every one of us are basically charged with supporting the work of the museum. And there is a list of ongoing ways that each commissioner can support this amazing work. So check your email, everyone, check your email, and you'll see action items that I have kind of gathered from museum staff that each one of you can add your name to. So that includes being a part of the acquisition committee. The museum is in the process of starting an acquisition campaign. Everyone look around, let's see this amazing work. Sacred Spaces is up. We see this beautiful show curated by Martina Dodd and Malika Glee was also just hired. And the work that he is doing is really important to the Ancestral Remains Committee. Now, there's no chair presently. And if there is a commissioner that is interested in being the chair of the Ancestral Remains Committee, please reach out. We'll talk about this at the retreat. There's also a conversation of shifting the Ancestral Remains Committee to the Historical Committee. And we'll talk about this at the retreat as well. I'm gonna move through this. This is all in this paper. I'll spare you guys the details because time. And our next meeting is going to be August 20th. It's really important to note that there is going to be, or there are going to be 5 historians, 5 community historians that are going to be hired to do historical research as part of the Ancestral Remains Committee. So please look at the museum's website. There's an active hiring process in these 5 counties: Anne Arundel, Queens, Calvert, Charles, and Wicomico. And this community historian is going to be really important in continuing to further the mission of the Ancestral Remains Committee and making sure that these human remains are returned to be honored and return to the earth. So, the Harriet Tubman Lifetime Achievement Award Committee is basically, we are pushing back. So normally the Harriet Tubman Achievement Awards happen in the fall. We're pushing it back to the spring in honor of Harriet Tubman's birthday, which is in March of 2026. Please submit your nominations by September 15th, commissioners. We push the deadline back. The nominations are due September 15th for the Harriet Tubman Lifetime Achievement Award. This is a really important award. It's a beautiful celebration honoring the work of African American women in the state of Maryland. And the symposium is not happening this year, but we are working to think through ways to center African American history in the state of Maryland in the spring of 2026. In the meantime, we are going to participate in the Quarles Colloquium at Morgan State in the fall of this year. And I'm going to pass this off to, so the last section of the BTTM is the ad hoc book subcommittee. So I'm going to pass this off to someone else.
Hello everyone. I am chair of the statewide book draft committee. This is our final report as we just wrapped up our cycle that ended in June of 2025. We are in this final reporting phase, which means we have collected final donation numbers, receiving reflections and feedback, reigniting momentum for the 2026 cycle. For those who are unaware of what the book draft committee is, this initiative was installed in 2022 as a direct response to the ongoing nationwide systemic removal of literature, curriculum, and history. The committee is tasked with the preservation, engagement, and promotion of Black books that live within our communities, county to county, throughout the state of Maryland. So far this season, we have collected 650 books, with Dorchester County being the top recipient, of which Vice Chair Jalen Loney is key in orchestrating that, so we thank him for that. And so the next cycle, 2025, November to June 2026, means refinement, recruitment, and handling all the things. We're going to be smoothing out logistics such as donation sites, methods and means, recruitment of committee members, as we're only down to one, just me. Donation sites, meaning institutions or organizations who are willing to accept those books, donations, and we are always looking for members to join us. So please, if this work interests you, my fellow commission members and community, please reach out to me or see me after this meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. We are also going to be meeting with the Maryland Association of Public Library Administrators, which are directors certainly, but support staff, including volunteers from across the state. And as you know, as we've been reporting about the book drive the past few years, in some cases we've gotten it out right now. And it's been awesome the past few weeks to see library assistants that were in that position when we first started have a change of heart, and others open the lines of communication to build more representation across the state too. So when we meet again in October, we'll hopefully have some more commissioners aboard the committee, and certainly a stronger bench of allies across the state who are working in those municipal agencies too.
Thank you. I want to stress again the importance of allyship in this work. According to our bylaws, only commissioners can helm these committees, but community members are invited to participate and be involved in the committee work. So if any of these initiatives speaks to you, please don't hesitate to reach out. The statewide book drive, as you might imagine, is no small feat. And the forces that we are up against are formidable. So we welcome all hands in this work. Commissioner Mason, was there more on your report?
No, that's it. I was going to say one other thing about the next set of events that are happening at the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum. I think everyone has that on their table, so just make sure that you check out what's happening at the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum, because there's always a need for volunteers or extra volunteers, and that's it.
Thank you. Any quick questions or comments on the BTM report before we move ahead, commissioners? Commissioners. Is that how you want? No? You have a comment? Yes, please.
What are we doing with the corals symposium? How do we support that?
So we propose to do a conversation on the labor of creating Black spaces, and specifically the labor of creating Black cultural spaces. And Martina Dodd and other curators and arts organizers in the area will be speaking. It's a panel discussion and a group workshop around what it means to create cultural spaces for African American history and African American culture. And at the symposium, at the Corals Colloquium, the Sacred Spaces book will be available for distribution. The Choral Symposium is an annual symposium that happens at Morgan State University. It's right now we're in its 8th year, or they're going to be in their 8th year of creating a space for African American scholars to talk about the work that they've been doing over the year. So it's mostly it's an academic space, but it's also open to community historians and community scholars as well.
When is that?
It is happening October 24th and October 23rd. So we're going to be doing, we don't have the time yet, but we will let you know.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Pinkston, and I'll just add about the Quarles Symposium. The namesake of this symposium, Benjamin Quarles, is an important, very, very, very important historian of American history, scholar, one of the co-founders, actually, of this commission in 1969. So we honor him. Moving on to the Public Relations and Historical Research Committee, chaired by Commissioner Brian Morrison.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank all of the members of the committee for their hard work and their dedication to making sure that we do our job, basically being the voice of the commission. We are the commission's voice. Commissioner Gill has pointed out very clearly that in his comments that the role of the pendulum, the role that the pendulum plays in being the voice of the commission. If you want to know what's happening with the commission, the pendulum is the source. You can access the pendulum. It comes out quarterly by season. You can access it through the website, through our website, through the museum website. It comes out in a newsletter that the museum sends out, as well as through all of our social media venues. At this point, LinkedIn and Facebook. But it's on the screen there now, the link for it, and you can get access to it. With that, we have the Public Relations and Historical Research Committee has three main buckets that we operate out of. And the first one being the pendulum. And as I said, we publish quarterly. We just put out our latest summer issue, and the fall issue will be coming out in October. October the 20, it's the third Monday of the month is when it comes out. We do accept suggestions and we look for article ideas from the public. Each issue has its own theme. We are returning to the theme of African American history, of the Association for the Study of African American History and Culture's Black History Month theme for the fall, which is African Americans in Labor. And Commissioner Gill has a lead article that will be in that issue around the 100 years of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. But we do solicit articles. There's a link that you can access within the pendulum for article ideas, as well as to submit events. We have an events section where we want to get events from around the state that are happening in your communities so that we can elevate those activities and let the wider community know what's going on in your areas. We also solicit comments. So we have a letter section. If you read something and you're inspired by it, please feel free to shoot us a note, and perhaps it'll be published in the pendulum itself. With that being said, we do have, and this is for commissioners and anyone else who's been charged with sharing information with us. October the 3rd is our deadline for submissions of anything that you may have to do. We also have in the pendulums commissioner spotlights, where we ask commissioners to get some highlights of what their work is and what they're doing, so that the public can get an idea of what the commissioners are doing in their own work in their communities that supports the work of the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum as well as the commission. And Commissioner Gill has spoken about getting the pendulum out in print. And we live in a information age, and people are always on their phones and computers and whatnot, but there's something to be said about getting a physical copy of a document that you can hold on to and pass off to other people. And we need to get the word out in as many venues as we possibly can. So not just online, but online as well as in print. So we've been investigating several grant opportunities to get the funding to make printing of the Pendulum sustainable. And we would like to have copies to give to folks here at the meetings for folks to have opportunities to see what's going on there. And definitely have copies regularly available here at the museum. So that's the piece on that. Our second bucket that we work in is on public statements and research kind of requests. We have our public statement, our main public statement that we are sharing on a regular basis is a public statement on we are not a DEI program, we are defenders of freedom and democracy, written by our chair. And I'm not sure, but we were meant to have copies of these available for the public at all of our public meetings, because it is a call to action to, like what the book drive does, challenge all of these setbacks that are being thrown at us from a variety of different areas. So please, it's printed in the Pendulum as well, so if we don't have the physical copies available, please make sure you read it in the Pendulum and do take some action to work to fight the challenges that we're facing from on many different levels. One of the other things that we're working on in the commission and on the committee, we have a subcommittee that's working with the Maryland Department of Transportation, updating the historical markers that was pointed out in the opening presentation. We've been charged with doing 4 per year because of budgetary restraints. We have chosen the 4 for this year. The process that we went through was all the commissioners got a list of all of the markers that are up for review. We narrowed it down to 10. We selected 4. We have 4 that have been, 2.5 of the 4 are ready to be submitted. Isaac Mason and Nathaniel Mace Hopkins, those 2 are ready. Those applications are being submitted this week. There's one minor adjustment that we're reviewing with the descendant communities of the Benjamin Banneker to get that language settled, and then we'll be sharing that with MDOT. And the 4th one that we have, the Catoctin Furnace, has raised a challenge for us, or really not a challenge, but has highlighted some things that we have to do in this process of updating these markers and getting the language right. So what we're doing is putting together a task force, and we're looking for a new commissioner to spearhead that task force or working group to come up with a set of standards that we'll use to help guide the work in updating the markers, so that we have some consistency and we have input on how best to make sure that the markers that we are putting up, the language that we're using, is inclusive, does have the voices of the communities, and is right, is accurate. So we're looking for those key pieces. We're also working on a set of guidelines for letters of support. We often get requests from communities and organizations to support projects that are going on in their communities that are connected to our mission of preserving and educating the community about African American history and culture in Maryland. So we are putting together, as an overall goal of the committee, we want to put in place protocols that will go over time. So when this rendition of the commission transitions out, the new commission is going to have to come in and recreate the wheel, so to speak. So that's a part of that process, creating a set of protocols for letters of recommendations or support as well. Lastly, on this note, the commission, we put in an application, we put in a proposal with the Association for the Study of African American Life and History to do a roundtable at this year's national meeting in September that was accepted, and we'll be presenting along with state commissions that do similar work from New York, North Carolina, and South Carolina to discuss best practices in doing this work of preserving and promoting African American history and culture. And that'll be happening, it's on the Friday of the annual meeting. I forget the date of it. But in any case, it's an important work because, again, the challenges that we're facing. So we're looking to develop best practices, to share the work that we're doing, to hear the work that others are doing, and to see ways in which we can support one another and develop partnerships to continue on in this work. I think that's it on the public statements. The final piece that we're working on is our social media. So those are our three buckets. The social media, again, that's connected to our public relations idea. Commissioner Woods is going to spearhead that project for us. He's smiling. We've had some conversations. But we've been looking for someone to really take over the social media piece. In the meantime, Jan Lee, the marketing director here at the museum, has been very supportive in helping us get the word out through our social media. And I really should thank Jan as well as Taja for their work on the committee, because they do really good work in helping us get the Pendulum out. They're truly unsung heroes whose work is really helpful for us. So we appreciate that. So I think that was it. Just a final note, looking towards next year. Next year is our 250th 250th anniversary of Maryland. And we're looking at a theme for next year's Pendulum, for that volume, to center around African American history in Maryland for over 250 years. So if you have any ideas for articles that you want to put forward, if you have any ideas for new sections to be added to the Pendulum, please share with us. We're always looking for ways to make the communications more dynamic and to reach more people and to serve the community better. That's it.
So speaking of America and Maryland 250, I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but we have William Jones. He's the founder of the Afrofuturist Network, and across the country, African American museums are looking at America 250. You know what that is, right? America 250? Okay, so you remember, I mean, some of us remember America 250 50 years ago. Well, this year we are centering Black and Indigenous voices through statewide and national programming. And I'm looking at you, William, because Black organizations and cultural organizations and artists are looking at America 250 through an Afrofuturist lens. So I think that would be a really great opportunity for you to be in dialogue with this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Commissioner Morrison. All right, we'll move on to, unless there are any quick additional comments or questions. All right, good. We're going to try to keep on our time. The next committee report, the African American Heritage Preservation Grant Program, that will be delivered by Executive Director Johnson, in the absence of our new chair for this committee, Commissioner Robert Patterson.
Thank you. Let me just pass the mic. Okay. I do want to, so the African American Heritage Preservation Program grant, that grant went from $1 million to a $5 million annual appropriation to support capital projects throughout the state of Maryland. To administer that grant, we newly hired 2 staffers, Malik Lee, our grant specialist, as well as Alexandra Anderson, our research grant specialist. So I want to thank Alexandra for quickly putting together this report, even though she was hired like a few days ago. Okay. The African American Heritage Preservation, our most recent FY26 grant round, we received 78 applications. and $15.3 million in funding requests. These are all eligible applicants. 21 counties were represented, counties throughout the state of Maryland, including Baltimore City. We also hosted a series of workshops, 5 preparation workshops, and had over 150 people in participation. The African American Heritage Preservation Grant continues to be a vital resource for communities across the state, working to preserve and protect significant historic and cultural sites, be it museums, historic churches, mosques, African American cemeteries, community centers, and so much more. The overwhelming response to this year's grant round demonstrates the critical need for this funding and the widespread commitment to honoring African American heritage throughout our state. Thank you. Any questions?
I'm sorry I got all these questions.
You would be our committee. No documentation.
The volunteers, can you talk to the volunteers? Have they been selected yet?
Yes, so we couldn't have governor-appointed individuals making that selections. So we had past commissioners, Maya Davis and Herbert Frisbee, make the selections for the volunteers. About 20 have been selected, and so a communication went out today for the AHPP committee to meet and talk about the onboarding and orientation process for the said volunteers. That will be reviewers.
You keep moving, you okay?
Any more questions? Okay, thank you for that report. Next is new business. I don't believe we have any new business that's not already been represented on the agenda. All right, well, before we conclude this meeting, this is my favorite part of the meeting. We get to hear who's in the room. So now I'd like to, and help me out with the protocols here, but open the floor for members of the public who are visiting us to introduce yourself and your affiliation, and what else?
That's it, that's all you're doing. We're gonna have time to convene and mix and mingle at our lunch, so just your name and your affiliation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is William Jones, and as stated, I'm an Afrofuturist, founded the Afrofuturist Network, and I'm also an historian, so thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael Sly, and I represent...
Turn the mic on.
I represent Highland.
The button on the bottom. All the way at the bottom, the white button, there you go.
There?
Yes.
My name is Michael Sly from Washington, D.C., Northeast Washington, D.C. I also represent Highland and Venice Beach communities here in Annapolis.
So we have 2 mics going, so that might be a little weird. So let's just use one, if that's okay. Or we can tag team it. Okay, go ahead.
I hope the camera can keep up.
And I'm the president of the Harrisville Malone Cemetery Maintenance Fund, and I have here my vice president, Candace Jarrett. And we're in Dorchester County. Okay.
Could you repeat the name of our organization?
That's the Harrisville Malone Cemetery Maintenance Fund. We're working to restore Malone's Church, the historical church down in Madison.
Where's your church?
Madison, Maryland.
Good morning, my name is Nancy Easterling. I'm here with the Historic Fatherly. And I do hope I'll see you here for the Day of Unity and Healing on August 23rd. I just had to say that, sorry.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra Stamidas, Maryland Humanities and Maryland 250 Commission.
Sabria Hassan, Director of Programs, Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum.
Hi, I'm Robert Floney. I'm the Program Officer for Partnerships at Maryland Humanities.
My name is James Johnson, retired.
Burl Young, Senator Shanika Henson's office, and I'm here with one of my 4 interns.
Hi everyone, my name is Bill Jr. and I'm an intern with Senator Shanika Henson.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cindy Yan, and I'm the board chair of the Kunta Kinte celebrations. And our Kunta Kinte Heritage Festival is coming up on Saturday, September 13th, so I hope to see you all there.
Hi, everybody. I'm Leslie Rose. I'm the exhibit manager here at the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum. Hello, my name is Martina Dodd. I'm the curator of collections and exhibitions here at the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juanita Cage Lewis. I'm with the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. This commission and this museum was once under us. I'm also here representing the African Americans here with the caucus here in Anne Arundel County.
Good morning. My name is Sidney Thomas, and I am representing the North Brentwood Historical Society. I should have.
Excuse me, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Jane Cox from the Chesapeake Crossroads Cambridge area. She asked you what county?
Oh, yeah, Free Georgia County. Not PG County.
Alexandra Anderson, research specialist for the African American Heritage Preservation Program.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Perchio, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer of the Museum and Commission.
Abiola Akintola, Educational Coordinator for the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum, also a member of the Annapolis 250 Committee, also a member of the Kunta Kinte Heritage Festival, also a member of the Annapolis Art District.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alan Bredak. I'm an archivist, historian, and a new processing archivist for the Vernon Waltham Archive.
Giselle Pauline, here to support strategic planning for the Commission of the Museum.
Hi, I'm Chioma Raji. I am a summer intern with the Marketing and Communications Department.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tasha Cropper, aka James Right Hand. I'm the marketing co-leader here for the museum and the commission.
Hi everyone, my name is Jane Lipscomb, and I'm a fan of the museum and a recently trained docent.
Good afternoon, I'm Dawn Cypress, former commissioner and board member of the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Foundation.
Crystal Henry from the Governor's Office of Appointments.
Cheryl Grimes, Program and Outreach Coordinator for Anne Arundel County Public Library.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Bryce Hatcher, and I'm volunteering at the Banneker-Douglass Museum.
Rebecca Haas, also with Anne Arundel County Public Library.
Good afternoon. I haven't been here in a while, so I'm excited to be here this morning. Borough Hall, I'm representing the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum Foundation. I am the former chair of the Banneker-Douglass Museum Foundation. I'm excited.
We're down there. I think you can turn up here real quick. Hi everyone, I'm Jan Lee. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Museum and Commission. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sasha Jones. I'm the co-founder of Baltimore Preservation Society, and I'm a memory worker, and we do Black history and culture tours, documenting Black Baltimore. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cheryl McLeod, former member of the commission. Hi, everybody. I'm here today on behalf of the Council of African American Leaders, SANCO, which is out of Annapolis, but it's a statewide organization. I'm also here on behalf of the Harriet Tubman Foundation in Howard County and the Sankofa Impact Foundation of Prince George's County.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Malik Lee. I am a new staff member of the Banneker-Douglass-Tubman Museum as the grant specialist, and just happy to be here.
Thanks to everyone. So glad you all are here. There's such broad representation across different kinds of organizations and places. So we are so glad that you have come out for our inaugural meeting of this season. We really breezed through that in record time because it never happens that fast, to be honest. So, since we have, so thank you for following instructions and being compliant. Since we have a little additional time, I want to put some of our new commissioners on the spot, actually, so that they can introduce themselves to the public and to us. So maybe we'll start down here this way.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jyoti Mohan. I was just appointed as commissioner, and I'm very excited about it because I am a historian, so this is my jam. and I'm actually very invested. This is something I've been involved in for a long time, and my pet peeve is I don't want to have separate histories. You know, I don't want to have African American history and Latino history and Asian American history. It needs to be all part of American history, and that's what I do. Is I try to integrate it all, and so that it's everybody is represented in American history, and that's what I specialize in doing. Teaching in Micah in the fall, but I have taught at Morgan State and University of Maryland, College Park, UMBC. So that's what I do. Oh, it's Bob.
Hi everyone, my name is Chrissy Thornton. I think, particularly interested in the ways that African American history inform modern day oppression. I am currently the president and CEO of Associated Black Charities.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jean Bailey, and I am president and CEO of the Sister States of Maryland. And I'm excited to be a new commissioner. What I'm trying to do, or attempting to do, is to bring the global perspective to African American history and culture.
To you. Oh my goodness. This is my second meeting, but I'm new. Reverend Dr. Alethea Smith Withers, one of two women who founded the church in the District of Columbia that has lasted more than 25 years. You know, when you're an advocate for African American history, sometimes you forget how long you've been doing this. I just celebrated my 51st wedding anniversary. That's history in itself. But the thing that I remembered on our wedding invitation, we had the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. A couple were misspelled because who knew what Kwanzaa was 51 years ago. But we were determined to really advocate for who we are and to give permission to others who came after us to celebrate themselves. I designate myself as an African American Caribbean woman, parentage from Jamaica, the island, but also my mother from the Midwest. So cultures come together and we have a lot to say. The other thing I've learned is if you want to get the word out about history, start with the Black church. So I've got great ideas for the books, all of this. And it doesn't mean it's the place. But when the doors were shut down, the doors that opened were the church. So we need to still use the church, and the church also needs to learn who it is and to remember itself and it's part of its job. So I preach strongly about African American and Caribbean history. It is a part of our story, and it's God's story. And then I'll stop now.
Mark Glaze. I'm a new commissioner, retired. And after spending 41 years in healthcare administration, I'm a lifelong learner and hopefully a teacher. And so I hope to be able to provide some insight and gain some insight in terms of things that are happening in the African American community.
Thanks to all of you. I don't know if we have any new commissioners online still, if we can just get that report very quickly.
Do we want them to go in order? Speak from the...
Yes,
yeah, okay.
if they can.
I guess we'll just call out Commissioner Jones-Smith, you're available?
I am available. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I didn't hear what was said, though. What is expected?
Please introduce yourself, your affiliation, perhaps briefly, why you joined the commission.
Absolutely. I'm Bridget Jones-Smith. I represent Western Maryland. I am the president of Friends of Tulsa's Chapel, which is one of the few remaining Freedmen's Bureau schools in the state of Maryland. I also am a member of Preservation Maryland, and I am so happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Commissioner Daly?
Good afternoon. I'm Dina Daly. I'm representing Talbot County, Maryland. My husband and I have started a community organization called Building African American Mountains. And we also are in construction, so we also preserved a local historical Black church, Mount Pisgah Church on 4th Street. So very connected with the community, and I'm first-time commissioner, so I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Lewis?
Hello?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. We're introducing ourselves. I'm sorry, I had to get up and go to the back.
Yes, brief introduction. Yes, new commissioners.
Okay, I'm Gina Lewis, professor at Bowie State University. Happy to be joining the commission and being the commissioner. Looking forward to working with the museum committee. And I'm very interested in several activities as well.
Thank you so much. Is that the final commissioner? Okay, thank you so much for facilitating that. So welcome once again to all of our new commissioners. We have a little mingle session after we adjourn this meeting so we can get to know each other a little bit better. But if there's no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved by Commissioner Tijani, and a second? Second. Thank you, Commissioner Kingston. All right, all in favor, say aye. All right, opposed? Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.